Hey everyone, welcome to a new episode of Imagination Megapark. Now, in the last episode, I worked on the Sugar Fluff Forest here in the Marshmallow Mountain area. Added a new coaster, new swing ride, and a new train station for the Mellow Express, or Mellow Railway, whatever it's called. Now, as we normally do with these episodes, I'm going to continue on working in the next area of the park, which is of course the Frozen Fields area. Now, what I want to do today is to add a spectacular new coaster in this area, and it's one that I've built in several more parks, and it's an air-powered vertical coaster. Now, I really like building these. The layouts are usually pretty easy, and yeah, it will be fun to work it into the landscape here. Now, before I do any building, I think it's time to do another quite big addition to the Handyman squad. Okay, here you can see the additions to the Handyman squad. I have named them all after people who commented on my last Imagination Megapark video. And if you also want to make it into the park, just leave a fun or interesting comment and you might make it into the park. Alright, with that taken care of, it's now time to start making a nice layout for this coaster. Alright, I've created the layout for this new coaster. I called it Aurora. It's a difficult word to pronounce 10 times in a row. Yeah, I really like the layout. First, here's the station. It gets launched from the station, goes up this top hat here. Then after that, there's this big turnaround here that goes over this ice path. Here's a hill where it passes over itself. Then here's a giant loop, and finally another section where it passes over its own track. I'll probably also recolor this. And finally here there's a section that overhangs the edge of the map. I'll make some nice custom supports over here. And then finally here's the brake section before it returns back to the station. Now, there's a few things that I need to fix on this coaster. Well, first off, this part over here needs some nice custom supports. I know of a nice way to do this top hat. Maybe I'll also give the large loop some custom supports, a little bit of that. And for this section, well, these Skidoo dodgems, they actually pass right under here. So I don't actually want these supports over here to interfere with this ride. Also, some supports are missing here because of this monorail track. So instead, I want to make a cave here for these dodgems to pass through, so that they don't... actually, they go right between these supports. But yeah, I think it's better if there's a cave for them to pass through. And that will also allow me to do some nice supports over here. Alright, our coaster now has some beautiful supports. Now, these supports were pretty easy to do, just involved some copying and pasting track elements for these towers. Here on top, I just added some hardline twister coaster track. I think it goes well here with the top hat. And I just made some inverted impulse coaster track to connect these towers here. So this part was pretty simple. Now you can see this coaster train just makes it over the top. When it has guests in it, it will actually be a little bit faster. So then it will look less like it's struggling. I think the speed like this is pretty okay. Now and over here in this section you can see all these supports made with observation tower track, and at the bottom some roto drop track. Now these were actually really tedious to do, because when you have the observation tower, the top piece always tries to make basically a taller top section. So you'll have to put something 4 units above it to make it turn into a normal track piece again. And when it doesn't exactly line up, well, I had to add a little bit of track, also put another invisible piece above it 4 units higher. It's pretty tedious to do, but I think the end result is definitely worth it. Now, and over here you can also see the cave that I added for this Skidoo Dodgems ride. Now, since the track here is diagonal, I couldn't just make a simple tunnel, so I just colored some of the wall here completely pitch black, and I put some of these rocks right next to it to turn it into some sort of cave entrance. And I hope it worked out. I think it looks pretty nice. Now, this is just another step. Oh, by the way, I should probably also mention these supports here. So here the track is overhanging. I did that on purpose. And that gave me the opportunity to also make some supports here sticking out of the wall. I think this is also a pretty unique way of supporting this coaster, especially from this angle. I think it looks really cool. Alright, next up is of course decorating the coaster. I will start with the station and the queue, because I think that's already quite a lot of work, and I'll connect some paths to it. And while I'm doing that, I will also make a path that will connect to this area, and I will make a temporary path here to connect it. Right, the station area of the new coaster is now finished. I tried to make it look like a research base, which you could find somewhere in the Arctic. So you can see these modular buildings, they all sort of look the same. With this orange glass, I think this gives it a nice research base feel. And for the queue, I actually used this space style queue. And I thought it would be fun to actually lead the queue through one of these buildings, so that's what actually happens here. Now, I normally don't really use these queue-line TVs very often, but here I think they actually fit pretty well with the scenery. So I think an Arctic base actually looks quite right with these queue-line TVs. They actually sort of look like lamps that would fit in this theme. yeah, on the edge of this area, I just put some of this mesh fence. And I also put some of these Skidoo dodgems scattered around the area. And all in all, I think it all looks pretty cool. And of course, I also added one of these satellite dishes here, pointing out into the void. So yeah, I think these are all pretty cool details. And with this done, I'm now going to do a little bit of landscaping in the rest of this area to finish things up. Alright, I'm now done decorating the ride. Now, as you can see, I just made some hills here. Also a little tunnel for the coaster to travel through. Yeah, and on top of this hill, I just built some more of these base structures. Just to continue the theming of this part a little bit more. Maybe this could be like a little outpost base or something. I don't know. I just thought it was nice. Now also put a little bit of foliage over here. You can see some of these trees. Also buried some more of these recolored snowball trees here. And I think all in all this looks pretty nice. Now I didn't theme it too much over here because maybe I'll be able to still fit a ride over here in a later episode. I think I could easily fit another shoestring ride in this area. So I just left it bare. And if I cannot think of anything to add later, I will just fully landscape it. But I think that will be a waste of space to do. Again, just a little bit more foliage and a little bit more landscaping over here. But overall, I kept it quite minimal. Now, I think this coaster is a really nice addition to the park. It's actually one of my favorite coaster types to build, the air-powered vertical coaster. Because the layouts are usually pretty simple. And the supports are actually quite fun to do as well. I really like the color scheme for this coaster. I think it was pretty fun doing this different color scheme for the higher parts. And I think it definitely ties in with the theme of the coaster, as it's called Aurora. So you probably expect some flashy colors on it. Alright, I'm super happy with how this coaster turned out, but before we wrap up this video, another patron joined my Patreon channel, so of course, as per usual, I will give him a nice spot in the park. I think I've found the perfect spot for an entertainer. Alright, thank you so much Niels Verbiesen for becoming a patron on my channel. The support is really appreciated. And I hope you enjoy your spot in the park here in the middle of this coaster tower. Now, if you also want to become a Patreon member, you can find a link to my Patreon channel in the video description. And if you become a patron, you will get a really cool spot in the park. And of course, your support is truly appreciated. Alright, that's going to be all the building I'm going to do for this episode. If you enjoyed watching me build, please consider giving this video a like. It would really help out my channel. And of course, if you want to see more videos like these, you can always subscribe to my channel. I think it will be fun to end this video with a ride on this roller coaster. Now, I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you again in the next one. See you later.